Okay, so let's dive in. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the world around the young Prince Siddhartha. And our main source here is the transcript from that Buddha TV serial, episode 12 specifically. It's quite dense.
Yeah, it's a single long transcript, which is interesting. It gives us this, well, almost raw feed of dialogue and plot from that specific point in the story.
Exactly. And look, your mission today, listening in, isn't to sit through a whole drama recap. It's really to pull out the key stuff about Siddhartha right now. You know, the politics, the relationships, what his family expects.
And those little hints about his own developing character.
Right. We want to get the core insights without getting lost in, all the dramatic flair.
And there's plenty to unpack. Political maneuvering, potential romances.
Oh, yeah. Intrigue, definitely,
Right.
family pressure, and this young prince who's, well, maybe not your typical hero figure yet.
So let's start with the political scene. It sounds pretty unstable.
Yeah, the transcript mentions threats, looking for traitors inside the kingdom.
Yeah.
That definitely sets a tense mood.
And they mention Baldev and Urmila returning safely, which suggests maybe they were in danger or involved in something outside.
Could be. And there's talk of failed assassination attempts already.
Right. And the conspirators seem to be realizing King Siddhartha probably won't name Devadatta as the heir.
Which forces their hand, it seems. They're cooking up this multi-step plan.
It really is multifaceted. First, trying to get influence over King Dranadana, using his friendship with King Prasenajit of Kosala, sort of a political leverage play.
Using personal ties for political gain.
Yeah.
Classic.
Absolutely. And then there's this whole other angle involving Princess Yashodhara.
Ah, yes, the prophecy. That adds a layer of,
Yeah.
well, destiny or manipulation.
Both, maybe. The Brahmins apparently predicted her husband would be like a great emperor or at least a king.
So the conspirators think, okay, let's marry her to our guy Devadatta.
Exactly. It just shows how tangled personal lives and political goals were. Marriage as a tool.
Yashodhara becomes a strategic piece on the board.
Pretty much. And we shouldn't forget the wider context, the mention of the Shakyas and the Lichavis.
Right, powerful neighbors.
Yeah.
So Kosala can't just barge in aggressively. It's risky.
Which brings us to their really bold plan with the Ashvamedha Yagna, the horse sacrifice.
Using a religious ritual, but for political dominance.
Yeah, it's not just about piety, it's a power play. They want to send the horse out, assert supremacy.
And Kapilavastu, Siddhartha's home, is target number one.
Right. Either force Siddhartha into an alliance or, well, provoke a war.
It really shows how religion and politics were, deeply intertwined, using a sacred ritual like that.
It's a strategic weaponization, essentially. The horse's path determines acceptance or conflict.
Okay, so that's the political backdrop. Tense, complex.
Very. Now let's shift focus to Siddhartha himself. What does the transcript tell us about him at this point? His character, his skills?
Well, the big thing is that victory he has over the warriors. And get this, he does it without using weapons.
That's a key detail.
It really highlights his intelligence, his skill. It's not just about fighting prowess in the usual sense. The king's reaction is pure pride.
Yeah, he wants to embrace him. But this nonviolent win, it hints at something deeper, doesn't it? A different approach.
Definitely. It's an early sign of his unique philosophy, maybe, valuing intellect over force.
But despite this big win and his father's approval, he seems kind of down. Melancholy.
Exactly. The transcript says he's quiet, withdrawn, even yearning for someone named Urmila.
So, even with success, his mind is elsewhere.
And then there's that gift someone brings him, a dream of his coronation, a big crown. Talk about pressure.
The weight of expectation literally symbolized.
We also see him acting decisively, though, saving Baldev. It shows he's not just passive. He's brave, clever when needed.
Right, he's involved.
Yeah.
Which leads us naturally into the next big topic swirling around him, marriage.
Yes. The pressure is mounting. Shakya tradition dictates its time.
Queen Prajapati seems keen for him and the other princes to marry soon.
Especially with the Basant festival, the spring festival coming up.
And they've got this idea for a youth festival during Basant.
Like a royal mixer.
Sort of, yeah. A chance for the Shakya princes and princesses to meet, maybe choose partners.
And specific invitations are planned to Mita, and crucially, Yashodhara from Devaha.
Subhadra seems really excited about Yashodhara coming, hoping she and Siddhartha will get together.
There's definitely a buzz about her arrival.
And Lalita apparently notices, the love in Yashodhara's eyes when she looks at Siddhartha.
And Yashodhara herself. Sounds like she's pretty confident she'll end up as queen in Kapilavastu.
She seems aware of her potential role, perhaps even the prophecy.
But Siddhartha, he seems almost unaware of her feelings, or maybe uninterested in that way.
He's talking about love using metaphors,
Right.
right? Creepers, swans, frogs.
Yeah, it's very philosophical, abstract, not exactly declarations of passion.
Which apparently frustrates Gopa. She wants a more direct expression, not these intellectual comparisons.
It highlights a potential gap, doesn't it, between his way of thinking and, well, normal human connection.
Or maybe just different expectations. Yashodhara's feelings seem clear, intense.
But she also notes Devadatta's strength. Is she weighing her options or just observing reality?
It creates this interesting tension. Her directness versus his detachment.
Yeah. And while all this marriage talk is happening, there's also a more formal step being taken for Siddhartha.
Right. His role in the community, the announcement in the Rajya Sabha, the royal assembly.
They're going to induct him into the Shakya Sangha.
Which is basically the clan's council, right?
Yeah.
Handles administration, social stuff.
Exactly. It's a big deal, happening during the Basan festival too.
So it's not just social, it's his formal entry into the Shakya power structure.
And alongside this, there's talk of a love conference and a Swayamvara for the princesses.
A self-choice ceremony. Again, reinforcing the focus on marriage and alliances.
When the induction happens, it's treated with a lot of ceremony, a real honor.
And he takes on specific duties: loyalty, reporting faults, accepting punishment.
Upholding the rules, protecting the Shakya people.
Serious commitment. And there's that prediction tied to it, that he'll become a leader within the Sangha.
Bring fame to the Shakyas. It really sets up expectations for his future role.
So let's just quickly recap what we've pulled out here.
Okay, we've got this kingdom, Kapilavastu, that's politically shaky, plots, potential enemies, alliances being maneuvered.
Then there's Siddhartha himself, skilled, intelligent, maybe a bit unconventional, definitely thoughtful. He wins without violence, but seems withdrawn.
Huge pressure on him to marry, with Yashodhara being positioned as a key potential match, partly for political reasons tied to that prophecy.
And finally, he's formally brought into the Shakya Sangha, taking on duties and with predictions of future leadership swirling around him.
The real aha moments for me are like the contrast between why people want these marriages, politics versus maybe actual feelings.
Yeah, and Siddhartha's very unique, almost detached way of looking at things, even love. It stands out against the backdrop of all this plotting.
And you just feel the sheer weight of expectation on him from all sides.
So hopefully, you listening now have a clearer sense of the dynamics at play in Siddhartha's early life. It's a complex mix setting the stage.
Ambition, tradition, romance, politics, and this unique individual at the center of it all.
Which leaves us with a thought to mull over. You have all these powerful people, these competing plans surrounding Siddhartha. How is his way of thinking, his unconventional views on things like love and duty, going to interact with all that?
Right. How will it shape his destiny and the kingdom's?
And what does joining the Sangha, this body with rules and duties, really mean for someone who seems to be searching for something deeper? What might that foreshadow? Something for you to think about.